Hi, so today we're going to do long and short stitch. Just so you could see from yesterday, I did finish my beach ball. I think it turned out pretty good. All right, let's get going. So for this, my thought was we're using long and short stitch, not really to do like thread painting or like smooth transition color blending, but more like kind of like just the design of the fabric to have this variation in it. So I think for stitch direction, I just want to stay up and down like this. And I have 3 colors. I got a purple I'm going to start with on the top. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start on the left, I guess. I don't know, sometimes I like to start in the center. Kind of like when you're doing satin stitch, just to make a center line. And I'm just going to start making stitches across. These are kind of my guideline stitches. My cat is yelling in the other room about something or other. So you don't have to go all the way across like this. You can do all your stitches touching. I like to kind of go across and then go back and fill them in. But the problem with doing it the way I'm doing it is sometimes your spacing's off. So like how many stitches go in between here? Is it 4? Is it 6? Is it 5? I don't actually know. But if you end up in a situation where you don't have, you know, it should have been like 5.5 stitches. It's like, well, that's kind of an awkward placement, right? I'm going to not be quite right there. So here we go. I'm going to go, sorry for the loudness. Okay. He's gone. Okay. No, he's not. Hold on. Okay. Sorry about the interruption there. I just kind of kept going. I'm just like filling in with stitches. You don't want them all the same length. We were really doing like a long and short stitch where we wanted to do really nice blending. I would probably do more variation here, but considering this is the top row, I'm not super worried about it. We're just trying to lay down some stitches, lay down some color. These are all these splitches. I like that. All these stitches are going to get split, so they will be split stitches, now known as splitches. Hey, Deller, what's up, buddy? Now I have a cat on my lap. I love how cats just like, they're in their moods, you know. You don't see him all day, and then all of a sudden he's like, oh, hey, I'm going to need your attention right now. Oh, and there he goes. He likes to chew on the packing tape to get my attention. I don't know if you can hear that in the background. Like, whatever, I don't care. He can do that if he wants. Like, I think it must taste horrible, though. But he thinks that it upsets me or gets my attention in some way. He likes to do that, and then, of course, knocking things off the counter. Is that good packing tape? Weirdo. Strange creature. Almost made it across. My guidelines totally disappeared, didn't they? It doesn't feel like a particularly humid day. That pen is air soluble. Usually it lasts a little longer. We must have some humidity. If you live somewhere very humid, I would not recommend that pen. Alrighty. So that's kind of like my first row. I'm going to start another row where I'm going to actually come up and split these stitches best I can. Now if you end up splitting in between a stitch versus your actual stitch, that's okay. Here you can see it looks like I really did split a stitch. I'm going to come down, and I am going to try to come down on the other side of that guideline if I can. So let's see, that looks like I split a stitch. Here, okay, so there I think I went between stitches. I don't know if you can see it, but when you come up between the stitches, you'll kind of see them pushed apart. And that's okay. Like if you can actually split the stitch, that's better. You're going to have like a cleaner, more smooth intersection there between our rows, because we don't actually want it to look like there's two different rows. We just kind of want to have like a smooth texture here as best that we can. So I'm just kind of hunting around. Like I said, you could be a lot more methodical and go from one end to the other and like, okay, stitch 1 split, stitch 2 is split, stitch 3. Me, I kind of hunt. Like I have my needle behind here and I'm pushing through so you can see where I have like a hole here. So I'm like, okay, I need to split the stitch above here and come down like this. And like here, I'm going to do the same thing. So I'm going to keep going and meet you back here in a minute. Alright, so I finished my second row of the purple, and now I've gone on to my next color. I have this like light gray, and I'm just going to keep going. So I kind of, again, like to poke around and feel for my next stitch, but if you prefer to be more methodical, go for it. And it's up to you how much back and forth, or how much, I don't know, let's see what I'm trying to say here. Where this transition is between the two colors, how much overlap, I think that's probably the right word, how much overlap you would like. So, I don't know, I don't know if I'm going for like a tie-dye look, where there's just, it's not like a straight transition like you'd have, like let's say if you did these segments using satin stitch where it was like blocks of distinct color. This is more transitional. So one thing I need to figure out though, so for my final row, I'm doing the third color, and it's a little bit shorter of a segment compared to these first two. So I have to decide if that's just going to be like a single row of that color. I think it might be. So I'm going to do 2 rows of this, and then I'll show you what I've done at that point. Okay, so I finished, well, at least on this leg, I finished with the silver, kind of out of thread, but I thought that was enough at least to show you what's next. So I am just going to stick with a single row for this final color. So I'm going to pierce the previous row, being the last row of the silver, and then just come down to the edge of the shorts. And I'm just going to variate. I'm going to, sorry for the coughing in the background. I'm going to, when I pierce, I'm just kind of adding variation, and whether this is like a long stitch, a short stitch, a really long stitch, an extra short stitch, a medium length stitch. They didn't want to call it that because that'd be too long of a name, but I think that's like the biggest thing I see when people do long and short stitches. They make exactly one long stitch, exactly one short stitch, exactly one long, etc. And it's a very blocky look, which sometimes is exactly what you want. But usually I want something a little bit more organic. And see, I can tell my stitch direction's kind of changing, so I am going to jump over here to kind of reestablish my stitch direction for myself as a guideline. I like these shorts, I'd wear them. Kind of wild. Swimsuits always have wild color. Well, I guess not always, but I feel like it's like way more acceptable to wear a swimsuit that looks like this versus like just pants that look like this. Unless maybe we're talking about like leggings or like yoga pants that have a crazy pattern on them. Sweet. So that's pretty much it. I'm going to keep going. I use the 2-ply here. If you want to use fewer and get more practice in with this, you can. Or if you want to use more ply, you can. I think when we did split stitch before, I kind of was talking about how you can actually split a single strand. Not easy, but it is possible. All right, there's my wild shorts. There's one leg of them done, so I'm gonna finish on this side, and that's it.